The Army has replaced its squad machine gun, individual rifle, optic, and both weapons calibers at the same time for the first time in 65 years. The M4 carbine and M249 Squad Automatic Weapon, both of which fire the 5.56mm round, will be replaced by a 6.8mm next-generation squad weapon, which will be produced and delivered by Sig Sauer, according to the Army. 2 Army brigadier generals and a colonel provided information regarding the selection, the weapon, the ammunition, and the fielding procedure during a media briefing on Wednesday. By the end of fiscal 2023, that is, by or before October 2023, the first batch of NGSW rifles and automatic weapons, coupled with its sophisticated fire control optic, are expected to reach an unnamed Army unit. The largest modifications to squad or individual level small arms in generations are represented by the $4.7 billion contract for rifle and automatic rifle weapons and the $2.7 billion deal for the sophisticated computer-assisted fire control sight that works with both weapons. The weapon is intended for close-quarters combatants. According to Brigade General Larry Q. Burris, Jr., director of the Cross-Functional Team Soldier Lethality and Infantry School Commandant, this includes infantrymen as well as cavalry scouts, combat engineers, forward observers, and combat medics. The NGSW will not currently be provided to soldiers who are not engaged in close combat. The M4 options and the M249 SAW will still be used by soldiers who work in occupations other than those listed or who are not assigned to a direct combat unit, according to Burris. Special Operations Forces and Combat Arms Marines will also be included in fielding plans, according to authorities, if their commands so choose. The NGSW rifle is now referred to as the XM5. The XM250 is the name given to the NGSW automatic rifle. Both firearms have serial numbers that correspond to the ones they are replacing. The M4 carbine will be replaced by the XM5, and the M249 by the XM250. Colonel Scott Medore, project manager for troop lethality, indicated that the Army will remove the X designator once the weapons have undergone a number of further phases. Following the release of the 2017 Small Arms Ammunition Configuration Study, the Army decided to use the 6.8mm round. The study was motivated in part by improvements in enemy body armor and field reports of the 5.56mm round's poor performance and low lethality at ranges greater than 300 meters in Afghanistan gunfights. According to Army study, the 6.8mm cartridge performs better than the 5.56mm round in terms of range, accuracy, and energy for fatal impacts on target. That metric accounts for fatal outcomes on targets that are shielded or unprotected. Burris declined to comment precisely on ranges or penetration after being asked if the new bullet will pierce existing deployed sophisticated body armor. He simply mentioned the round's much greater energy on target. In the beginning, the 2017 research recommended an intermediate caliber, maybe in the 6mm range. That would make it bigger than the ordinary 5.56mm cartridge, but smaller and lighter than the 7.62mm round used in the M240 medium machine gun. According to Army authorities, the 6.8mm can efficiently destroy targets at 600 meters and more, whereas the 5.56mm approaches its lethality limits at or before the 300-meter range. The 6.8mm baseline measurements approximate a beefed-up version of a well-known hunting cartridge, the .270 caliber rifle round, for civilian shooters. The size difference is significant, but in various ways. When both rifles are empty, the XM5 weighs 2 pounds more than the M4. However, the M249 SAW weighs 4 pounds more than the XM250. Compared to 5.56mm, the ammunition is heavier, but officials did not provide precise pounds and ounces for a full combat load. According to Burris, the Army could order up to 107,000 rifles and 13,000 automatic weapons during the next 10 years. According to previously made public budget records, the contract has the capacity to produce up to 250,000 rifles and automatic guns overall. If the Marine Corps and Special Operations Forces decide to make the rifles and light machine guns part of their standard issue equipment, Burris said the additional numbers are for them. Over the course of a 27-month weapon testing and selection procedure, more than 1,000 soldiers gave first-hand feedback. Medor claimed that more than 100 Marines and SOF members took part in evaluations and feedback. However, when the Army ramps up manufacturing at 2 different sites, the initial amounts of weapons delivered will be rather minimal, according to Brigadier General William M. Boroff of the Joint Program Executive Office Armaments and Ammunition. According to Medor, Sig Sauer will produce 25 XM5 rifles, 15 XM250 automatic rifles, and a huge quantity of ammo during the next few months. Before expanding up operations to create thousands of rifles annually, the Army and Sig Sauer will use those early products to fine-tune the production process. Technically, the deal is for an unlimited number of firearms. According to Burris, Army priorities and financial constraints will decide the annual rifle production figures. He was unable to state with certainty when all 120,000 of the Army's close combat units will acquire the weaponry. According to Boroff, the U.S. government has already created and produced millions of 6.8 mm projectiles for Sig Sauer to start the process of assembling the brass cartridge case, primer, and powder to create the 6.8 mm round. In the final round of the competition, Sig Sauer defeated Lone Star Future Weapons, which was affiliated with General Dynamics OTS. Textron Systems, a third competitor, failed to achieve the technical requirements earlier in the process. With this, we conclude our video. We appreciate you helping us keep it going by watching. The best way to support our channel is to watch another episode. Thank you for tuning in. To ensure that you never miss an episode, please subscribe to the channel.